Hi, I'm Kevin Drinkall.
Hi, and I'm Michel Nicolai, and we welcome you to Zyxel Networks podcast.
We've been in the network industry for over 15 years, and in these podcasts we want to try and untangle the world of networking, debunk some of those myths, explain some real-world examples along the way, to help you make better choices about selecting the right tech, product, and even help you guys build faster, more reliable, scalable networks, or just to keep your kids happy at home.
Well, welcome back to another podcast, and in today's podcast we're going to talk about some of our new products that are coming along and a few products that we've just launched.
Yeah, because we thought it would be a good time to update you and to give you more in-depth information on the products that we recently launched and will be launching quite soon, I think.
So let's dig straight into it and talk about the switching.
Yeah, we have some new things coming up. Say in the entry-level products, maybe you're familiar with the GS1200 series, a very popular web-managed switch with VLANing, and it's not taking Nebula on, but it's still popular. And we're doing a refresh, let's say a new version of it. And the nice thing that we can now add on is on some models, we also put an SFP port on so that you can put it on the fiber as well. And that will be coming in later this year as well, yeah.
Okay, so what sort of use case would you say the 1200 series has?
I think for more extensions of networks, let's say you coming to a desk with only one lead, one Ethernet cable, and you want to connect more to that cable, then you could put this on your desktop. It's a small device. It can have PoE power as well. It does VLANing. So more of a small extension to the network. And maybe also for prosumers would be really interesting to separate the network. Yeah, if you have maybe some IoT devices that you don't want to have in your normal network, then we see that people are splitting up the network with VLANing, and then this is a very affordable switch to use that.
So I also see on the cards that we have XS1935, which is the 10 gig series. So for those of you who don't know the naming convention very well.
Yeah, the X stands for the Roman X. Yeah, so that's why we call it the 10G. And it's, let's say, the first in line in our multi-gig 10G switching. And we have three models in that one, a almost fully fiber, with 10 ports fiber, 2 SFPs. But more common are the copper version, one without PoE. It's an 8-port PoE with 2 SFPs. And let's say the most interesting one, I should say, it is a 8-port PoE and 2 fiber uplinks.
Oh, excellent.
And the good thing is it will be the successor of our already popular XS1930.
Yeah, I see that now there's an increase in the PoE budget, and that we go, even though it's PoE++, it takes it to 90 watts per port.
Yeah, it was already PoE++ before, but then up to 60 watts. And now we have increased it up to 90 watts per port.
Oh, so
of course, up to 400 as a budget, of course.
Yeah, some of those higher end products like the PTZ cameras, for example.
Of course, yeah, those ones. Still, on this switch, you can do the license upgrade to give you full layer 3 functionality or AV functionality as well, yeah. So that remains on this product, similar as the one we had before on the XS 1930. So that will be the 1935 that will come in this month. So you will see them on our website.
And of course, all fully functional with Nebula as well. So that's really excellent products to our top portfolio as well. And I also see that we have XMG 2230 coming.
Yeah, maybe we need to go back a little bit because it is, again, a multi-gig switch. Yeah, and that is really a trend that's coming through now, that more and more switches becoming multi-gig.
Yeah, I think a big key driver of multi-gig now is with all the Wi-Fi 7 access points becoming 2.5 gig on the back, right? You know, a majority of Wi-Fi 7 access points now surpass the 1 gig mark by a long shot. So the minimum requirement for sort of not bottlenecking a Wi-Fi access
Exactly.
point. Is 2.5. Obviously, if you go for our WBE 660S, then you can expect, obviously, for high density, you'll need to deliver higher power output as well. So even though that could be run under 60 watts, but obviously you've got that multi-gig, which can take 5 gig, 10 gig, and 2.5 gig as well.
Yeah.
So that's a trend that we're starting to see. It moved into this year, and now we're seeing it really ramp up with, becoming more and more common in the market for multi-gig technology.
Yeah.
So,
and this switch is for, let's say, those resellers that want to do a full Wi-Fi 7 deployment, and maybe they have some low density areas as well where they maybe don't need a full 2.5, but they want to have a mix. So therefore, we have the 2230 now coming up. That will be later this year as a new model. As you mentioned, XMG 2230, MG for multi-gig, and the X for the 10G uplink, as the naming convention is teaching us. And then we have two models, a 28 port HP and a 52 HP.
Yeah, I see. And the models have, certainly in the 52 port version, it has a mixture of ports, right? It has 16 1 gig ports with PoE plus. So that's
up to 30 watts.
30 watts.
Yeah.
We have 16 ports, 1 gig with PoE++, so that's the 60 watt variant.
60 watts, yeah.
And then we have 16 ports of 2.5 gig PoE++, also 60 watts, but with that multi-gig there. And 4 times 10 gig uplinks, that's the SFP plus fiber ports, right?
Yeah.
And I also see that, not when it's launched, but within the next firmware, we'll see stacking coming in this product where it'll be able to stack up to 8 units as well.
Yeah, and therefore we have, let's say, a small LED at the front where we can lit a number. And there you can see that it is eligible to use in a stack. And there we can put the number in, because in what you said, in the next firmware release, we can stack up to 8 devices in the same model range. So it can be 52 ports, as you mentioned, with the different port speeds and different PoE budgets. But also you can use the 24 ports that has only multi-gig and PoE++. You can use that one also in the same stack. Yeah, so you can mix and match between those two.
Okay, excellent. And also I noticed that this model is one of the first ones that we've really introduced this into, where it has the ability to do AC and DC. Now, one of the things I wanted to sort of point out is how this works, right? So first, AC power, if you're looking at plugging into AC power, the 28 port version will give you 700 watts.
Yes, yeah.
And the 52 port version will give you 960 watts of total budget available.
Yeah, so that's if you're using it in a standard environment, so with AC power, as all other switches have, then exactly as what you mentioned, 700 watts for the smaller one and up to 960 watts on the 52 ports.
But if you use DC power, which it also supports, and there's a couple of things we want to point about the DC power. So first thing is, if you use DC power, that PoE budget, the total budget of the switch, increases. So on the 28 port, it's,
more than double even.
Yeah, it goes to 1,440 watts in total budget. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And then the 52 port?
2,400 watts. Yeah.
That's very impressive. Now, the other thing that also happens with the DC and AC combo is that you can use the DC as primary power and the AC as a failover, and vice versa. This means that you can use both power supplies to double up to create redundancy on the unit as well.
Yeah, maybe a small tip. If you're using the DC part, it dropped down the PoE budget lower. So make sure you prioritize your ports. So you make sure that the ones that are really, really important, that they will still ongoing. So that's up for you as a reseller.
Yeah,
to set that properly.
So so everybody's still aware that Zyxel switches use consumption power by default over classification. Of course, you can change it, and you still get all the benefits of prioritizing the ports under consumption. Consumption mode means that it measures the draw of each device and allocates that out of the budget, whereas classification would allocate the full allocated for that class.
It will reserve, let's say, the power that might be needed for the device.
Yeah, so for example, if your device was a desktop phone, it might reserve 15.4 watts or even 30 watts, depending on what the product is, but only use half of that in its actual real everyday usage. So just remember that when you're looking at the switches, it's a I would say a benefit, and in some cases you can double up the amount of devices you're powering on a switch versus two switches. So, and of course with the DC, you obviously quadruple it almost at that rate. So they're the switches. A very interesting product line coming there as well. So
that's what we have planned for the rest of the year, or just recently launched.
So another product which is very interesting is the FWA 515. So for those of people who don't know what FWA means, it means fixed wireless access, which is our 5G product line. And we have a 515 model which has been introduced, which gives us the Wi-Fi 7, the 5G built into it, and also multi-gig all in one unit.
Yeah, so it's an indoor router that you can take your connection through 5G, and then you can send it out through Ethernet, because there's Ethernet connection on the back, and also wireless, as you mentioned, even on Wi-Fi 7. So the latest technology that is currently available.
Yeah, so the specs are the 5.2 gigabits per second on Wi-Fi 7. The 5G itself is capable of doing 7 gig, but obviously that's completely dependent on your coverage area, your network. So reality is you'll probably see more like 1 gig in the areas that have real coverage, and for example in the UK where I come from, you probably see nowhere near that, right? But that's all down to the network's availability, but certainly much lower latency from the Wi-Fi and through the 5G as well. So, and mixing up with that multi-gig, that 2.5 gig ports on the back is fantastic. So, and not to forget, it can be managed by Nebula.
Yeah, and that is all of our FWA products are capable of doing this. If you're not up for the latest version or your budget doesn't allow it, we're still carrying other models, the 110 and the 505. So this is a nice add-on for the ones that really wants to have a high performance mobile router.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Wi-Fi as well, because we've got a new range of Wi-Fi products, and I'm going to talk about what we've just launched, because that will start our little journey off on new products, right? So we started recently with a new series of NWA products, which is the Network Wireless Access, right? Just for if anyone's wondering what that means.
And all new technology, all Wi-Fi 7.
They are, right, that's right. So just to give you a bit of indication about what product does what, so the 50 and the 50 Pro, the difference between those is one can do dual band, and one has a dual band with selectable 5 gig and 6 gig.
Yes, that's on the Pro. Yeah.
So also we have the 90. So this is the 90BE and 90BE Pro. The similar is the same, where we have the difference between this selectable radio. But also the advantage of using the 90 is it has captive portal and authentication, so 802.1x that you can use as well, and fits into the whole Nebula platform. All four of those products can use the app to get them off the ground, working in minutes or even without unboxing them.
Yeah, so these are the ones that are the successor of our very successful NWA 50AX or AX Pro models, same as the 19 AX and AX Pro models. So this is a upgrade, but then on Wi-Fi 7.
Yeah, so we still contain or carry the AX product line, but if you want the BE technology, which is the Wi-Fi 7 technology, then you can move to that as well. It does also take advantage of MLO, which is the multi-link operation out of Wi-Fi 7, so it can do our smart mesh between the products as well, using all of the bands at the same time. So really nice range, already launched, so they're available today. And towards the end of the year, we're also going to see another product added to that portfolio, which is the NWA 30BE, and also an upgrade to the outdoor access point as well, which is the 55BE. So let's talk about the 30BE for...
Yeah, that's a desktop model, yeah? So you don't put it on the ceiling or on the wall or anything. No, it's a desktop model with fixed antennas. Only there's no PoE-powered connection. So you have to run it over an adapter. The rest, fully functional Wi-Fi 7 dual radio device that you can use, on every desktop.
Yeah, so supports multi-gig on the back, so it has 2.5 gig, and again can be used as a part of the smart mesh, our smart mesh technology, so it can be extended or extend the range from an existing access point out of our portfolio. And this brings, lots of advantages to if you want to expand the coverage around your desk, right? Your immediate area, because more and more people are going for Wi-Fi first approach, where there is this, all the devices are connected wirelessly, the tablets, the PC, so this will be a product that will allow you to connect all those devices at your desk and your immediate working area. And obviously, if you want to, you can extend the range, or you can, plug it into the network.
Yeah, please remember that these products have standalone configuration possibility, but also, of course, can be used in our free Nebula cloud services. You can run them one or the other. So if you want to do it easily on Nebula, on our cloud, that's fine. But also if you want to do it locally on the local interface, that's also possible on these devices.
So we also have the NWA 55BE that I mentioned just before that as well, which is, I would say the Wi-Fi 7 version of the previous model we have today, which is an outdoor access point. And supports dual band and is PoE powered. Nebula supports bridging as well.
Yeah, captive portal as well. And nice, it has IP55 rating, and that means that you can put it outside, of course, but also for the temperature range, it is very nice what we achieved. You can run this AP from minus 25 up to 65 degrees Celsius. So that's also very nice for this product.
A good outdoor temperature range. Obviously, this is the startup range, etc., for temperature as well. So it means that this device can boot and operate at this temperature. So that's great. No 6 gigahertz on this product because...
No 6 gigahertz, no.
We've covered this in a few other podcasts about Wi-Fi 7 and, so if you want to look at all the depth and everything, but basically in Europe...
For now, it's not allowed, yeah. So that's very restricted.
There are some low power mode, but it's not very useful in for this type of product. So this one is a dual band, so it supports 2.4 and 5 gigs. So of course it can still take advantage of all Wi-Fi 7's feature set, but just doesn't have the 6 gigahertz. So we get asked the question about why no 6 gigahertz, but it's not because we don't want to build a product that does that. It's because it's not licensed, and it won't be for any time soon, I don't think, for outdoor either, because of restrictions that are in place in Europe, and those bands are simply used already. So,
and then I think we have one more AP to launch this year.
Yep, the IAP 500BE.
Yeah, that's a special one, isn't it?
Yeah, so IAP stands for Industrial Access Point. So this is our DIN rail access point. So lots and lots of use cases, but just to give you a little bit of information about it, so it's a dual band Wi-Fi 7 access point with 2.5 gig. It can be supported by DC or PoE powered. So you can also run it on DC power for those that are requiring that type of environment. And there are lots of use cases for this type of product. For example, I start off with a very simple one. There are some smart homes that have rack mounted DIN rails in them.
Yeah,
I mean, a bit more luxurious than my house, but
sure.
But obviously transport, bus, trains, trucks, The big case for using DIN rails. Renewable energy plants is one that we got heavily involved in the past. And
the factory, for instance, or what is it? Street cabinets?
Yeah, street cabinets or cabinets like lampposts, etc. They're all DC, so it makes it extremely well. And in factories, there are machinery that has network capability but very difficult to get to, and this will enable you to convert that product into a wireless product as well, right? So it allows you to create that extension into that product network, etc. So it's very versatile product. So this product also very similar to the NWA 55BE has a temperature range that can go from minus 25 degrees Celsius to plus 65 degrees Celsius. So big temperature range there. Has detachable antennas.
Yeah, that's quite important. And don't forget, it's a metal housing. Yeah. So it's more ruggedized. Can I say that?
Yes.
Fanless design, so no noise or whatever. So the heat dissipation is very efficient and very quiet operation on this industrial AP. That was coming out.
So also controllable by Nebula. So this is our first, I would say, industrial access point that will be able to work with Nebula as well. So this was an interesting one as well, and lots and lots of use cases, and I'm sure you guys can think of other ones as well, right? So, but also interesting. So there's a lot of products there.
Yeah. And I think, yes, just check our website quite frequently to see what the new products will look like, and you can buy them. And if you have any questions, of course, please get in contact with your local sales office, and then they can tell you much more on the product and how they operate.
Yep, for sure. Sign up to our emails, watch for the product launches. We also will do webinars, and also, we'll be doing many more podcasts. So I'm sure that some of these products will crop up again in our discussions. And, like Michelle said, there is the website to go to as well for more product information. Our YouTube channel, social media channels as well, if you want to look at how and when we're launching products as well. So great stuff. So thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, and hopefully to see you back on the next podcast.
Thank you very much.